Alright, so we are live. So I was thinking, let's do something new today. So the plan is, whenever I'm in confusion, like I don't know what to do, I think, think. So I thought, why not think out loud and stream while I'm thinking? So I'm going to think while I'm streaming today. I don't know what we are going to do today, but we'll figure it out. So let me open up a note or something. What should we call it? Thinking session? Yeah, just call it thinking. Let's just call it career because that is the overarching thing that we have to think about today. Alright, so let's see. So I think we are going to mostly think about this topic. So topics to make this font a bit larger. Fourteen, okay, 14 will be. Did it make the fonts larger? I don't think it made the fonts larger. Let me try to make it a bit 14, 19 maybe. It seems it is not affecting the fonts in the beam. And it's not affecting the fonts inside this terminator itself. Okay, let's see, maybe I have to change it inside different profile. Which profile is right now active? Layout Argonaut. Okay, so do I have to change the fonts inside the Argonaut thing? Okay, let me try to do that. Let's change it to 16 maybe. No, it's a bit larger. Sixteen, 14, yeah, 14 will be all right. Okay, I think this font is visible. Let me check. Okay, I think this is fairly visible. Okay, let's start then. So, topics to think about. Let's see. We're going to think about career, mostly tech career. So, tech career. What else? Motivation, maybe. So we might think about some psychology related stuff also. New stuff. What else? Skills, yeah. What did I wrote in the title section of this stream? Tech career, skills, motivation. Yeah, these three things. Alright, let's start with these three topics. We'll add more topics if they come up. Okay, where should we start? Let's see. Let me write down the questions I have in my mind. Questions in my mind. What skills should I learn? How should I plan my career? Okay. What else? What skills should I learn? How should I plan my career? What else? Should you be money oriented? Should you be money? Let me try to rephrase this question a bit better. Should your career goals be money oriented or be focused on money? Should your career goals be money oriented? Is that a better question? Yeah, let's just go with it. Should your career goals be money oriented? What else? What else do I have in my mind? What skills should I learn? How should I plan my career? How to learn new skills? Yeah, maybe we can touch on that topic as well. How to learn new skills. Do you need a college degree to make a good career? Make a good career in tech. What else? What skills should I learn? How should I plan my career? Should your career goals be money oriented? I should add something to this question. Let me add a sub question. Or not or. Should you ask yourself, not ask. Should you ask yourself what you want to do and just fucking think about money at all? Yeah, this is a good question. What else? So related to this question, I also have another question in my mind. Since after doing this name to Tetris course, I feel like I like doing low-level programming stuff, but there's a kind of a bit of a mismatch between, you know, the jobs which are right now available in the market for newbie developers. So most of the junior level jobs are for web development, and at least I have not come across any job which are for uh, I have not come across any job uh, of low level kind which requires a junior level developer. So maybe we can think about that as well. Let me write it down. Should you focus on... Hey Aditya, welcome to the stream. Yeah man, I'm from India. Industrial automation. What do you mean by industrial automation? You mean the low level kind of jobs? The embedded programming stuff? Should you focus on low level programming or learn web development and focus on getting a job as soon as possible? For low level programming robotics, I mean, yeah, so that's what we are going to explore today. Robotics, right? So for low level programming, so think about it, robotics. So that's also one of the kind of an embedded level programming, right? Low level never goes off market. Yeah, right. So, but here's another thing. So I have not come across any job which requires requires a junior level developer for that kind of job. So I have come across many jobs for web developers which require a junior level dev. Do you think people are hiring junior level developers for robotics kind of jobs? Maybe we'll try to explore it today. Should you focus on low level programming or learn web development and focus on getting a job? What else? You could do intern if money is a pressing issue. Yeah, so it's also another thing. Money is on money, I think. It's not a pressing issue for me right now. I don't need money like ASAP or something. So yeah, I can explore. So you're telling that explore beyond India. So yeah, no, actually I want, input from other people as well. Like it will be helpful if you can give your input. That's why I'm streaming this, because I have been thinking about these things for a long time now. But it would be helpful if I can, think with other people like you. So suppose I look for a low level systems programming stuff, then do I need a degree? And if not, what? If not, then what kind of portfolio should I build? Certifications. Okay, so you mean so what do you mean when you say certification instead of degree? Should I rephrase this with do I need a certification? Or do you mean that I should get a certification to get that kind of job? Because I think for the certifications, yeah, I mean, I have been doing a lot of courses lately, so I can get a certification for that course easily if I pay for it. So I've been doing this Coursera course, and it does provide a certifications if you it does provide a certification if you pay for it. So that's that. Now, and what kind of portfolio should I build? Okay, what question should I tackle first? Certifications are valued more than degree. Not Coursera type. Then what kind of certifications? I mean, I know about hacking industry. So for hacking industries, certifications are much more valuable. Like this one. What's the name of that certification? I forgot. For the hacking. Forgot about it. Hacking certification. Certification. OSCP, yeah. The OSCP one. OSCP. Microsoft, you have Azure certification like that. Something embedded. Alright. So, yeah, let me try to find it. Certifications for embedded. What's the spelling? Embedded programming. Embedded systems courses. These four courses are from Coursera and Udemy and Pluralsight and a Udacity one. But there's also this another question, that yeah, I do like low-level programming stuff, but should I make getting a job in this career an end goal of mine, or should I, just have fun with it and let the skills build by itself, and maybe after that try to find a job? That's also one way. Should you ask yourself what you want to do? Just fucking don't think about money at all. So that's this question. Mm. Yeah, so, and I'm 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 what should I say, I'm thinking about this point because there are people that I have come across which doesn't who didn't start with an end goal in their mind, like they want to do this, they were just having fun, like they were building. Yeah, exactly. If you're passionate, don't make it your job. But that's the thing, if you are passionate about something and you are doing it every day, you will build the skills anyhow, right? And if you can build your skills, then you are also building your portfolio uh, implicitly. Like so you are doing something right every day if you are passionate about something. So you are building a portfolio implicitly. And if you have a portfolio, you can show one day you can show it to a potential employer that see I have the skills. So maybe that's one way. But until you have a good set of skills, don't think about a job. So that's one way of thinking about it. You're going to be well paid either way. Ask yourself whether you want to make 110% money and hate it. Yes. So yeah, I was thinking about this thing as well. So 100. So mm, I have this kind of thinking about web development, right? So when I think about web dev, I have a little bit experience in web dev. So, but I don't know why, but I guess my point is that don't be a Java programmer just because yeah, exactly. That's my point with web developers, because I don't really like web development. Like maybe I'm a bit biased, and maybe that's a limiting belief, maybe. But when I try to create a web project, I feel I lose motivation very quickly. So that's one thing. But if you think about it, there are most of the jobs in the industry are for web developers. So there this scenario comes that most of the jobs are for web developers. So if I focus on web development, I will get a job, but and I will have money, but then I will hate my job. So that's the point that you are talking about, right? You understand? Mm, switching languages and specializations is also way easier once you so I haven't thought about this thing. If you do web dev for 3 years and then you decide that you don't like it, you can just switch. Yeah, so let me write that point. That's a good point to keep in mind. Maybe so. How should I phrase it? You can start with something. You can start with anything. Let's say you can start with anything which is easier for getting into industry, right? Getting into tech industry, I should say. And after once you have your foot in the door, you can switch careers easily. So that's a good point, you understand. I would start with whatever you are the most passionate about, as long as jobs exist in that field. Yeah. So let me write down the things I'm passionate about right now. Things I'm passionate about. So there's, let's see, low level programming stuff, and maybe AI related stuff, because I have been learning that stuff as well. But I don't know if I want an AI related job or not, because I don't really like just building the models and that such. I want to do programming as well. So maybe a job which involves building model as well as building the program around it as well. So that could be a good career option. Optimizing and making fast code operating system. Yeah, so when I say low levels programming stuff, yeah, so compilers, OS, this kind of stuff, because I like to learn about how computer works at the most basic level. So, and also I have been doing this course. Let me show you. Non-detectors. And this is the only course I think I have done. I have completed the part 1 as well, and now I am almost done with the part 2. So that's why I think that I like low level stuff. So this course teaches us from how to build a computer from the NAND kit and so on, using emulators. Like we don't have to build the physical hardware, but we have to use the simulator to build the logic of the hardware. So that's that. So when I say low level programming, I mean compilers and OS. What else do we have? Desktop apps which are nearer to OS. Like when I say near to OS, I mean browsers. What else? Spell. Text editors. Okay, so this I like this kind of stuff. Yeah, that's also one thing. I like messing around with Linux config stuff. Does that. Let's try to look for low level programming related jobs. Maybe it will give us some idea. What should I find? Should I look for? A lot of newer programmers don't even know what they like. Yeah, and most of the programmers, like 50%, are in the industry because they just want to make a good amount of money. So, and for them it is a bit easier, I guess, in that case, because well, most of the money is in web development area. So they just pick the web development stuff and they just go with it. So it's easier for them to think about it. Let's try to look for low level programming jobs. Maybe embedded programming job. Who are in it for the money? Well, yeah, I mean, not all of them are in it for money. Like, it's not different for India. I mean, yeah, you can say, you know, if I talk about the situation in India, uh, yeah, right, SC. So in India, this computer science field is like the of holy grail of holy grail kind of a course that you can get into. Like everybody and their uh, relatives want to get into a computer science college. Like everybody wants to do computer science because, and most of them wants to do engineering related jobs, and in that also they want to do computer science because the situation is like this in India. Like even if you are doing, let's say, civil engineering, then also you can get into an IT company. Like that's how it is in India. Like even if they do 4 years of civil engineering, they get into IT industry. That's the end goal for most of them. And most of the IT jobs in India are not that much good. Like most of them are in the service sector, service related stuff. Like, mm, yeah, exactly. We have engineers every third person. So I used to joke about it like this. I heard a joke that if you are in a crowd in India and if you throw a stone, then there's a 90% chance that it will hit an engineer. So that's how it is in India. So that's also this thing that you know, parents want. No. You are in India. In India, you are either an engineer, uh, a doctor, or else you are a failure. So that is the mentality of Indian people. Like, I'm not talking about all of them, but that's the general mentality. Either you are an engineer, a doctor, or else you are a failure. People, worship these two professions. So yeah. hopefully for me, I didn't get into this career because of this stereotype, because I have been interested in computers since my childhood. So I was playing around with computers since I was a little kid. So it was not a forceful kind of career for me. I chose it willingly. Embedded programmer jobs. Systems programmer, Pittsburgh. So for embedded, yeah, so they do require, most of them require C and C++. And yeah, I do like both of these languages. Yeah, I haven't learned C++ yet. I know a bit about C. Recently only I did, yeah, recently define programming is about really being able to learn and adapt. Yeah, so for programming, I guess the number, let me writing down. So skills. So it's like this. The number one skill you need to have number one skill you need to have a good career in tech is learning how to learn. So I think this is the number one skill everybody should learn, learning how to learn. And I've also been learning about it. So we can also give it a name, meta learning. I think that the skill of teaching yourself anything new is a superpower nowadays. And for that topic, this question is good. So, do you need a college to learn tech skills? So if you can have the skill learning how to learn, then I think you don't even need college. But along with learning how to learn, it involves managing your motivation. Like when there's nobody forcing you to learn anything, you have to learn how to keep up your motivation and all of that stuff. And searching for good resources, because on the internet there's a lot of crap stuff, and you have to sift through all of that stuff and find a good course or something. And regarding that, I think this course is the best course. And why do I think that? There's a different method, because the methodology of this course is a bit unique. Like, it doesn't walk you through each and every step. Like each and every step you have to think about it yourself, and you have to build it yourself. So that's good thing about this course. Or else if you do courses which walks you through each and every step and hold your hand while you write a code, then you don't really learn anything. You are just passively absorbing the information and writing it out, so you don't really learn in that case. And that's also the reason why we get into tutorial help. Yeah, so that must be one of the question. How to avoid tutorial help. Embedded stuff, managing current code base, tracking and fixing work in manufacturing to develop programming, workflow system at the factory, work with self, strong experience with compiled languages, but mostly C and C++. Yes, developing for embedded system generally do not count. Why does it not count? Neat and organized. Okay, Mongoose. Whoa, Mongoose OS. What's this? Basic knowledge of embedded system and chip communication. Unit testing in C++. Do they have this kind of role? Systems programming or something? Systems programmer. Whenever I try to search for this kind of jobs, they show, the DevOps related jobs. Programmer, mainframe programmer, research, IT systems, game programmer, systems programmer. Where is it mentioned? The requirements. It's a paragraph. They should have points. Java, C++, master's degree in computer science. So yeah, see, this is what I'm talking about. So whenever we try to find this kind of job which requires a bit of technical knowledge, they say that you need a computer science degree. Master's degree, not only a bachelor's, they require a master's degree. Or an equivalent combination of education. Yeah, systems programmer. Yeah, it's a lab. So yeah, of course, they'd require a degree. Let me try to find another job posting. Intern programmer. Renal care. Software engineer, systems programmer, developer. Also, Ethereum. So, do these guys hire developers? Like the developers that work on Ethereum, are they like getting paid for working on this project? Do you know anything about it? Like, are they getting paid for working on this project? Or they are just doing it for just for contributing to the open source project, right? is Ethereum like a company? Because if it is, I would like to do this kind of work as well. Yeah, no, I'm not talking about just crypto. I'm just taking this as an example. Let's say, what is another open source project which is big? Linux, maybe Linux kernel. So are there roles for Linux kernel development or something? Mm, mm, or maybe Win. So are these people getting paid? Of course, they're just four contributors, so they must be the core developers. I don't think so. Mm, GitLab. GitLab is also a good company, I think. Okay, so this is good, you know. They require a bachelor degree or equivalent with a strong background. So if the companies mention this, then they're good, they're a good company. Most people are working on open source project. Yeah, so that's why I was showing this Ethereum, because I came across a profile of some developers who say that they are working for Ethereum. So they might be in the category of working on the project paid employees. So they might be paid employees of Ethereum. So those kind of jobs are good as well. But generally the only real way to get paid for working. Yeah, that's that. But again, I think you need to be at a good level in your skills to get that kind of job. Trending repository. Yeah, I think there is a company behind Ethereum, because I have come across many developer profiles who say that open jobs. Thanks for the link. Oops, they only have a job opening for a front-end web developer. If there's not a role here for you, head over to Discord. This is good. Core responsibilities. So for the front end, why do they need a front-end developer to build this kind of websites, or what? To maintain products using modern development framework. Okay, React. They're using React. Good. So this is a remote role. I want a remote role as well. They're good. paying $75,000 to $95,000 for a front-end developer. This is good. So, this kind of companies are great though. Like, there's not a lot of restrictions on how you can work. Like, they allow remote work. They allow you to, so because the code is open source, you can work while streaming your work as well. So there's this another company, GitLab. They also have this kind of policy. It is also like it doesn't have that many restrictions. Jobs. A culture of empathy and productivity. See, a culture of results, not hours spent. Flexible hours. Transparent and open source. Most of our work is open source. And collaboration with the wider community. So if I get this kind of role, I can even live stream while working on my day job. So this is good. Transparent and open source. Do your best work from anywhere. A remote job. Work asynchronously. This is also good because I live in India and the time zones don't match with other, like most of the developers are from Europe and from the West, so the time zones don't really match, align. So if you can work asynchronously, that's good. Build connections. What kind of jobs do they have? Support engineer, backend manager, senior backend manager. Quality, security, UX, accounting, business, sales, product. Let's check this one. Backend manager. Both are remote. Okay. So they are using Golang. So, Sir Johnston, what about you? What kind of developer are you? Ruby on Rails. So I guess the stack for GitLab is mostly Ruby on Rails and Golang. Backend dev. C#. Good. So that's also, so when I talk about web development stuff, like I don't really hate all of the web development. Like I do like backend part of it, so I can do that as well. Document processing, that's a good, this kind of stuff, I find this kind of stuff interesting. Document processing. Backend to C#. So for your role as a Python developer, what kind of libraries do you use, like mostly? Do you use this backend web frameworks like Django and Flask? Yeah, very well. Let's focus on another question. Should your career goals be money oriented? Just listing some of the tops. Fast API for making the web API, SQL Alchemy for database stuff, Alchemic for migration, OpenCV for image processing, Tesseract for OCR, Dramatic for background jobs. Sounds interesting. What's up with this fast API? I have been hearing about it a lot. Modern fast web. Is it better than Django and Flask? This fast API on par with Node.js and Go. Less unruly than Flask. Hmm. So it must be like uh, Express Express for Node.js, right? This must be on par with Express, I guess. But I thought Flask was the easiest. If this is easier than Flask, then I think I should check it out later. Fast API, just a web API framework. Yeah, so previously I have worked with Express and Node.js, but I have not really worked with any of the Python APIs, backend APIs. I have not built any APIs in Python yet. So you use SQL Alchemy for database, Alchemy for migration, OpenCV. So yeah, I have used OpenCV for a bit of image processing work when I was doing uh, computer vision stuff for this course. Fast AI. I have been going through this course recently. Okay, so let's see. Which question is the most important out of these questions? What skills should I learn? How should I plan my career? Should your career goals be money oriented? I think how to learn new skills is latest step So this must be a secondary question. This must be included inside this question. Learning new skills. Do you need a career degree? That's another question. Low level programming. So these two questions are idiosyncratic, like they're only for me. Like most most people won't even like low level programming stuff. So, but this is the question that I think everybody should think about. Should your career goals be money oriented? You know what? After your description, I think I should add backend related stuff as well here. Things, let's make another things I think I like. Backend, backend dev stuff. So for backend stuff, I can learn, web frameworks, database. What else? I think DevOps related stuff like Kubernetes and Docker might be considered a backend skill as well, right? Docker, Kubernetes. Okay, I can add this here as well. And I think the jobs for this thing, it's easier to find this kind of job compared to low level programming stuff, at least. I think we should start to think about this question: should your career goals be money oriented? Because it ties very firmly with self learning as well. Let's try to think about it. Should your career goals be money oriented or money job oriented? So let's think about it. What if they are related to money? What happens then? Let's see. Suppose you pick a goal, say, I want a job as a backend engineer. What's the next step? What happens then? Pick a goal. So now the goal is to get a job. So I think most of the people and even I, we do something like this. We go on YouTube and try to search for try to search how to become a backend engineer. This is what people usually do, at least when they are trying to learn it by itself. So let me write a point here. Self-learning focused. I'm not talking about university related stuff. For them, the steps might be different. But for people who are learning this stuff by themselves, they pick a goal. I want a job as a backend engineer. Then they try to search how to become a backend engineer. Okay, what happens after that? Okay, so they come across a lot of jargon and technologies. Like usually the people in the videos, YouTube videos, they suggest learn X, Y, and Z. Like learn this framework, learn this language. After this, you will become a job. Like let's say for the backend part, people will say learn maybe pick up. They will say pick a language like Python, JavaScript, Go, Java, whatever, and try to learn it. Then what else do they say? Learn a database. Learn database, NoSQL related, like say MongoDB, SQL databases like MySQL, Postgres, SQL. What else? But here's another thing. Can't really be super focused on the backend part, because if you are trying to build a portfolio, like yeah, that's another thing they say. Build a portfolio. So if you are trying to build a portfolio, you can't have a portfolio without at least simple front end. So you need at least a basic front end to query your API and backend. So yeah, so you need to do a basic front end part, at least to have a portfolio. That's what they say. Do all of the steps. Okay, so so these are all the general steps, like all of them just say a variation of these steps only, like learn these technologies, then build a portfolio, then try to find a job, then so on, right? That's what they say. And what does self-learner do after that? Well, they try to learn these technologies individually. Like they might start with language. They might start learning a language first, say Python, and this is the step where most of the self-learners they get into tutorial hell. Step where most people fall into tutorial hell. And when people are aware that they are in a tutorial hell, they try to find a way out of it, and mostly they what do they do? Steps where most people fall into tutorial hell. So to get out of tutorial hell, most of them suggest that you should try to build your own projects. So now when this point has come up, there's another problem. Now you think about what kind of projects should you build. So now people try to find projects they can build on their own. I think we are diverging from the topic. So we started out with this. Should your career goals be money oriented? I mean, when people are money oriented, they do this kind of stuff. What's the problem with this way of learning or going through the motions? What happens? Let's think about it. While you are doing all of these steps, you are focusing on money mostly. It's the problem with this way of going through the motions, money oriented. But try to think about it. Steps you go through when you are focused on getting a job, if that's your goal. Is there a problem with this approach? Okay, let me try to point out the overarching problems with this approach. Problems with this approach. First, you over optimize your to be over optimize. Yeah, so we try to over optimize. We try to over optimize our future goals. We are external motivation. The goal is focused on external the motivation for the goal is focused on external things like money, maybe for some people fame, but I don't think where when people are trying to find a job, they are doing it for fame. So let's not put fame here. Let's keep money for now. So that's their external motivation. Money is the external motivation for them. So I think now we might go into a bit of psychology. What happens when we have an external motivation? When getting a job is your motivation, because job, money. Why am I saying money? Because for most people, job is related to money. It is closely related to money. So that's why I'm saying that motivation for the goal is focused on external things. Okay, where was I? Problems with this approach. Focusing on me. We try to over optimize our future goals. We are focused on external things. So, what happens when we are focused on external goals? For one thing, we are constantly in the pursuit of reaching our goal. With that, what comes? When we are constantly in the pursuit of reaching our goal, there's frustration. Yeah, there's frustration. There's anxiety as well. At least for me, that's what I feel when I am trying to, when I am in constant pursuit of a goal like getting a job. I'm frustrated, I'm anxiety, I'm anxious. What else? Okay, this looks nice. Okay. So when I'm talking about this point, should your goals be money oriented? I also want to explore this concept. What was it called? Wu Wei. It's a Taoist Chinese concept, I guess. Wu Wei. Is it Wu Wei or? Yeah, it's Wu Wei. Inaction, effortless action. What's the idea behind this concept? As a founder, denote two different things. An attitude of genuine non-action motivated by a lack of desire to participate in human affairs, and a technique by means of which the ones who practice it may gain enhanced control. Not this one exactly. Does not occupy himself with the affairs of the world. Yeah, so this thing, the master said, was it not son who did nothing and yet ruled well? What did he do? He merely corrected his person and took his proper position as a ruler. So I want to explore this concept while talking about this point. because it is closely related. So yeah, how should I tackle it? Because I think this concept movie is an antidote to this approach of goal-oriented approach of modern world. Let's just focus on the problems of this, and maybe we'll go from here to there later. Studsy group through. So yeah, there's another effect of this approach, that when you are self-learning, like going to any university or something like that, when you are self-learning, it's easier to lose motivation. If your motivation is getting a job, because what really happens is, when you are focused on the external goals, at least that's what happens with me, you don't really focus on the things that you actually do to get to that goal. Like you're not really focused on, like you're not enjoying it that much, like whatever you are doing every day. That's what I feel. It seems like I'm pushing myself. Yeah, I should write it down. When job, when I have this kind of goal, it seems like I'm pushing myself. Like it doesn't feel like it is effortless. No, I should write it like this. It requires some effort of will. So I think when you have this kind of goal, you are constantly in a battle with yourself. Like on one hand, you are really trying to push yourself to achieve this goal, and on the other hand, you don't really, like what you are really doing. Even if you like the things you are doing, let's say suppose if you do like programming, but when you are focused on getting a job, you are constantly thinking about the other goal, so you're not really enjoying yourself while programming. I think that's a side effect of having a goal. So what we are really doing here is trying to go into the depth of goals. And I'm not an expert in this kind of stuff. I'm just exploring it for myself. Okay. So let's see. When I have this kind of goal, it seems like I'm pushing myself. It requires some effort of will. And what really ends up happening is I leave that pursuit. Like, what has happened up till now with me is whenever I had this kind of goal, what really ended up happening is what happened. What happened? I ended up leaving the goal altogether. And I didn't really get any skills as well. Like I leave it before I can master anything. So what happens is I ended up becoming a jack of all trades. And also when you are pursuing this kind of goal, it's very easier to fall into the trap of shiny object syndrome, because you know mastering a skill is a long process, and uh, after the initial excitement fades down, uh, there's not really anything else to keep you motivated, so it becomes tiresome after some time. So what happens is when you are in that phase of learning, when you come across a new thing, like any new goal, like to be concrete, let's say if you are doing web development, learning web development, and you are going through that phase of no motivation, that the initial excitement has faded down. When new thing comes up, like you saw someone else doing something and being successful in that thing, like if you are doing web development, if you see someone doing machine learning related stuff, then you think that it will be easier to do this, and you become excited about this idea of doing machine learning because you were already doing this web development stuff and the excitement has faded down. This idea pulls you towards it, but it's another trap because you're, you are about to go into the same cycle, because let's say even if you leave this one thing and go towards that another signing thing, what happens is the same thing. You start learning it, the initial excitement is there. While the initial excitement is there, there's no problem. You are learning uh, on a booster, but after the initial excitement fades down, it's hard to keep up. So again, another thing comes up and you get attracted to it. So that's what happens. At least that's what happened with me mostly. In that case, people ends up becoming a jack of all trades. Not even a jack, they become a jackass because they don't really master anything, and they can't do they can't even do any single thing in a good manner. I think these points are fairly enough for showing the problem with this approach. Okay, so when I tried to think about a solution to this problem, let's try to find a solution to this problem now, because I think we are convinced enough that we have problem with this approach. Maybe it is just me, because most people find success or whatever they call success with this approach, but that's not just me, because I had problems with this approach. Mm. Okay, let's try to think of a solution to this approach, to these problems. Should your career goals be money oriented? So I think we have enough reason to not fall into this trap. I mean, I have enough reason to not fall into this trap again of chasing after a job solely for just money. So let's try to think of a solution or a way so that we can solve these problems. Okay, let me what should be the question now? What is an alternative? What is an alternative to a goal-oriented approach? Right? What is an alternative to a goal-oriented approach? Have no goals? That seems like a sensible first reaction, like not having a goal. What then? What if you don't have any goals? Are you not doing anything? Let's try to explore this. Let's be specific, like not solution to problems of goal oriented approach towards a career. Don't focus on money. I'm just pointing it out. I'm not saying we should. We are going to explore it. Let me keep a question mark. Not focus on money. Don't focus on money. Yeah. Should we try to explore this idea? Don't focus on money. Okay, then what should you focus on then if you are not focusing on money? Yeah. What should you focus on then if you are what should we focus on that? Passion? What does it mean to be passionate about something? I don't know. Passion? Well then, when you say passion, there comes another problem. How to find your passion? Yeah. When people try to think about this stuff, like when they hear someone saying that don't focus on money, focus on what you are passionate about, this is the point where they end up getting stuck. Like how to find your passion. I mean, if you're not focusing on money, do you need a passion? And what is a passion? Should you focus on that? How to find your passion. How do you know that? How do you know something is your passion? Because you might be fooling yourself. You might be fooling yourself saying this is my passion when really you are motivated by the what? Mm, the results of pursuing that passion. So you might say that you are passionate about, let's say, programming, but really deep down, you might be just motivated by the money aspect of it, and you don't really like programming. That might be one point. You might be fooling yourself. The stuff I'm doing, streaming and all, I have to ask myself this question every day, like, why am I streaming? Because I get into this process of thinking that I get attracted by the following aspect of it, like the fame that comes with streaming and all of that, the fame, the money, and I try to then make it a goal of mine. But that's not really why I should be streaming. Like, I should be streaming because I like streaming, not because I want followers or I want fame or money through streaming. Because if I have that kind of goal, then I'm trapped, because then I'm not really free. I will be doing stuff just for that, for pleasing people and all of those things. That's another thing. Maybe I will talk about it in depth. Okay. Let's focus on this thing for now. Solutions to problems of goal-oriented approach towards a goal. Don't focus on money. Or should we focus on that? Passion, how to find a passion, how do you know something is a passion? Is there a way, is there a middle way between this not having goals and having concrete goals? Not exactly, because I don't really have a career right now. Like, I'm doing this tech stuff, programming stuff. So I'm just thinking about it, like, how should I approach? So let me show you what I'm thinking. I'm trying to think about these questions. I'm more than willing to have your career. Talk to your employer about it. If he can hire me, then I'm up for it, 100%. I'm thinking about these questions. What skills should I learn? How should I plan my career, and so on. Great. So yeah, I was thinking about how should I plan my career, and as I told you earlier, these are the things I'm passionate about. Low level programming stuff, and maybe some Linux config stuff. I should put this here, things I like. AI related stuff, maybe it should be here. This is what I'm certain of, that I like this stuff, low level stuff. So I should put C and C++ here. At last I was exploring this approach of goal oriented. So should your career goals be money oriented, money or job oriented or not? Because these are the problems that I have come across when I approach any goal like that. Like if it is money or job oriented, I try to over optimize, or the external goal is money, so I'm constantly frustrated and anxious. It's easier to lose motivation and so on. So I'm trying to find this an alternative approach to goal oriented approach. And do you know about this concept Wu Wei? It's a Chinese concept. It basically means effortless action, inaction or something. An attitude of genuine non-action. All right. Chime in whenever you feel like it. This might take long, because whenever I think about this kind of stuff, I tend to think about it for a longer duration. So yeah, I'll be here. So let's see. Solutions to problems of goal-oriented approach. Don't focus on money. What should we focus on? I should take my particular situation and try to think about it. It seems I'm stuck in my thinking. What is an alternative to a goal-oriented approach? Am I stuck, or do I not want to think about it? I didn't really develop skills. This is much better. Okay, so suppose, let's say, I do know what my passion is. I don't know what is a passion exactly, but the things I'm interested in, it, the things I'm interested in, yeah, it, that makes sense. So yeah, so we should focus on the things that we are at least interested in. We shouldn't really do anything we hate. Right. So let's suppose that I do have things I'm interested in. So I already pointed them out here. Things I'm passionate about. I should say interested in. Interested in. Interested in. Special. Yeah, so when we try to focus on things we are passionate in or passionate about or interested in, this is what happens. It's hard not to think about how you are going to make money with it, because that's how we are conditioned. It's hard to not think about it, right? Yeah, so I should point it out. But suppose you focus on things you are interested in, and this another problem comes up. It's really hard not to think about how you are going to make money with it. With it, I mean the things you are passionate about. Yeah, it's really hard to not think about how you are going to make money with it. Yeah. Then what? Mm, let me uh, point out something. So the things I'm interested in, low level programming stuff, when I try to think about it this way, I become unclear about it. Like, am I really interested in it? Mhm. I'm trying to organize my thoughts here. It's a mess right now. I'm trying to pick a particular point right now. Suppose you focus on things you are interested in. Yeah, so what else? You see other people making a hell lot of money in other fields and think, and after that you try to second guess yourself. I mean, why am I pointing out this? Because I felt this, because I tried to approach this solution, this alternative way, like I tried to do this NetWriters course because I was interested in it. Like there was no ulterior, like external motive. Like, yeah, I mean, I wasn't going to get a job anyway after doing this course. Like, I mean, there are no job postings for people for roles like who can build a computer from scratch. So there was no ulterior motive. It was just doing this for the heck of it. And I think it was pretty much good because I liked it. I mean, I completed the whole part one and I'm about to complete part two as well. So that must count as something, right? So that shows the promise of this second approach. But here's the thing. Okay, so while I'm doing this stuff, not focused on job, uh, every now and then this question comes up, like maybe I should be learning web development as well so that I can get a job. That comes up every now and then, even though I'm enjoying this stuff. Like I feel like yeah, I'm enjoying this stuff, but I feel like that this is not going to get me anywhere. Like I don't find meaning, like meaning in the sense, like I don't find any concrete like path, after I do this course I'm going to get this result. Like I don't find this kind of connection, so that's why I second guess myself. That's the hard thing when you are following this approach. It's hard not to think about getting a job. I read a post about it. It was on the skies. Was it Scott Young? It was on this blog, Scott H. Young's blog. Let me try to find that article. Strategy, career advice. Learning. It was a post on learning, I think. Meta learning. find that article. Hmm. Understand first what to do, love your work. Let's check out this article. Maybe it is this one. Goal setting. Best of learning. Yeah, it must be. It might be this one. Start a try learning. What do you want to call try learn? Choose the project format. Preparing to learn. It's not this one. I think it would be hard to find that particular article. I don't remember exactly what was the topic. It was something like why you should not focus on the outcome of what you are learning. Like most of the people, when they are trying to learn anything, the outcome that they are focused on is getting a job. Right? But he pointed out something that why you shouldn't do that. It was a good point, but I don't remember it exactly. Alright, it's okay. Let's continue and let's build up from this point. Where was I? What was I talking about? Yeah, so I was saying that when you are focused on building skills that might not get you a job, like there are no external goals related to what you are doing, this two problems comes up. Like you try to think about how you're going to make money with it, because that's how we are conditioned. It's hard to not think about, because we are in social media and YouTube, you are constantly bombarded with this kind of shiny stuff. So then what should we do? What should I do, I should say, because I'm really trying to explore it for myself. There's also another problem. Maybe it is just with me. I don't know if any other people have this kind of problem. Uh, this is the problem. Let me try to just put it on the table. Uh, why? Why what? Why is it that the things I am interested in don't map out? Should I say map out? and don't map out exactly to a career opportunity. Maybe it is just for it is the case if this is the case just for me, or I don't know, maybe this might be a problem for other people as well. That's usually what happens with me. Or maybe I'm missing something. Like for the low level programming, that is a career opportunity there, right there, right? And what's the issue really? Yeah, maybe this is the issue. I'm not really I'm not really sure what I am supposed to do. Right. This might be my problem. I'm not really sure what I'm supposed to do. What I'm supposed to do? Should I say supposed to do? What I want to do? I what I should do? How should I phrase it? Because it matters how I phrase it. I'm not really sure what I'm. Let's change this to what I should do. I'm not really sure. Yeah. So this must be the reason. I know why this question arises in my mind. Why I'm not clear, or why I don't have clarity about it. Because I think it may be because we are conditioned to this goal-oriented approach, and because we are conditioned to this goal-oriented approach, we always have this structure in our minds that we have a perfect steps laid out, like do this, do this, do this, and that's how you'll reach the goal. So I mean, do this, the steps. So I laid out the steps for that particular example. Like I want a job as a backend engineer. So if I have that kind of goal, like I want a job as a backend engineer, then I have particular steps, like this is what I should learn now, this is what I should learn next, these are the projects I should be building now. I should be building a portfolio, and I should be interviewing and so on, right? So these are the steps. And now I'm not really sure, this point comes up, that why I'm not really sure, or I don't have the clarity. Why does this particular thought arise in my mind? Okay, I will be right back in a minute. I have to go to the bathroom. going anywhere with this thing, or am I just going around in circles? Just not really going anywhere. Because at the end of this stream, I want to be clear, like what I should be doing. At least I should have a clear path to something. I want to gain some clarity. That's the end goal of this stream, to gain some clarity about this topic. Why is it, I try to think about this. Why is it that the things I'm interested in don't map out exactly to a career opportunity? Yeah, let me lay out another point. I'm not saying anywhere in the stream that money is not important. It is important. I mean, I need money, right? Everybody needs money. It is important. But I'm not just saying that. I mean, personally, I don't need money ASAP. Like, I don't want a career ASAP. My needs are taken care of. So that's that. Let me lay it out. So why do we need money? Are we clear? I mean, I know money is important. There's this thing, like we do need to take care of our basic needs, right? Food, shelter, and clothes. So those three things are the essential for survival. So we do need to take care of these three things. And as the society is structured now, you need money to have these three things: food, shelter, and clothes. Other than that, why do you need money? Well, you can start adding things on top of these three requirements according to your lifestyle. Like if I talk about me personally, after these three things, the fourth essential thing I think is internet for me. Like I need internet connection because the stuff I do needs internet connection. So that's the fourth thing. What else? And I need running electricity. So I think electricity and all of that comes under having a shelter, right? this basic utilities comes under a shelter. So let's just take it as granted that we need all of this utilities. Why? Okay. Why else do we need money for? What else? For what else? Do I need it to buy fancy things, new things? Have I fallen into that trap? Is that why this problem comes up? You see other people making a hell lot of money in other fields and try to second guess. So why do we try to second guess ourselves? Why do we think about money when your basic necessities are taken care of? Yeah, I mean, it is. It is good to be financially independent, right? To have a job and all of that. But uh, is that what you call an independence? Are you really free when you have a job? I mean, if you're just doing that job just for the money, then I don't think we are really free. That's a very bad, how can I put it? That's not an ideal way of living, at least according to me. If you are doing the job just for the money, and if you hate the job, it's not a good way to live. Then you fall into the trap of what is it called? This fight club kind of concept. Fight Club. If you have seen this movie, what is that quote? Yeah, it's this one. So if you are just doing the job just for the money, then this is what happens. We buy things we don't need with money we don't have to impress people we don't like. Yeah, this quote fits well with that kind of living, because what else are you going to do if you don't love your job and the only thing why you are doing is because you can have money, then you're going to use that money, because money just sitting around, it doesn't make any sense, right? It doesn't give you that pleasure. Like us, if I have $10,000 sitting on my desktop, it doesn't give me any pleasure, right? It's just piece of paper. So it's only when I spend that money I'll get the pleasure. So we fall into this trap. We buy things we don't need with money. Well, with money, yeah. If we go deep into that trap, then we won't be having enough money then, because we keep on buying things we don't need. We keep on buying things we can't afford. At least that's what I have observed. So it's good to think about this kind of things at night. It's almost 1:38 a.m. Should I sleep or should I keep on thinking about it? We have not reached a conclusion yet, so maybe we should keep on thinking, I guess. Let's try to think about it a bit more. Hmm. So yeah, I'm not really clear at the end of this session about what I should be doing. I'm not really clear. Why am I not clear? Hmm. Why am I not clear about it? Clear about what exactly? Clear about doing what? Doing stuff related to career, right? Yeah, so I don't have a clarity regarding career. Let's try to unpack this word career. We saw earlier, what's a career? Career is having a, doing something which gives you, which provides you with money. Is that definition of career? What's a career? Well, if you are doing something and you are not getting paid for it, then we can't call it a career, right? It's just a hobby thing. So if you are doing something and you are getting paid for it, then it's a career. Yep. And if you are not getting paid for it, then it's a hobby. And that's how I feel like when I do this kind of stuff. Like I feel like I'm not going to get paid doing this kind of stuff, and it will end up becoming just a hobby. That's why I second guess myself. Mhm. So do you need a career? I mean, we already laid out that you need money, right? You need money for your necessities. So that's clear. That point is clear. So I think I should write it down. Things I'm clear about. We need money, right? Need money for fulfilling our basic necessities. Is this the correct spelling of necessities? Doesn't matter. We need money for fulfilling our basic necessities, right? So that thing is clear. We need money. Let's try to write down what we unpacked about career. What's a career? Career is when you do something for which you are also getting paid, being paid, getting paid. Career is when you do something for which you're also getting paid, right? Now, so if we are clear about this point, we need money for fulfilling our basic necessities, then we are also clear that we need a career, because that's how we are going to get money, right? If we are getting paid, and we will be paid, we will be paid only if we do something of value for other people. That's the definition of a career, right? So what's the problem then? Okay, so the problem is when you try to follow this approach, when you have career goals which are focused on job, this is kind of a thorny thing. Like, if you start out with this, like focusing on the money aspect of the job, at least for me, I have to face many problems which are internal. And when I try to approach this alternative way, like not focusing on money, trying to focus on the passion, things I'm interested in, then when I think about it, I feel like I won't be getting paid for these things, and therefore I won't have the money. That's the final conclusion that happens in my mind. That's the thing I need to be clear about. I need to solve it. What now? Why am I stuck? Now that we have laid out these two things, you have to do something, right? You need to do something. You can't just sit around and do nothing. You have to do something. Now, when you do something, there can be two approaches. You can do something focused on the outcome of that that thing, like what you are doing, focusing on the outcome of what the results of doing that thing will bring for you. You can follow that approach, focusing on the outcome. Or you cannot focus on the outcome and just keep on doing things. Then this problem comes up, like how what will you do if you don't have a goal? Like, if I know I want to go from here to there, I have a specific goals, then I know what I need to do next. But if I don't have a goal, then what should I do next? So I think we do need a goal. even though in this alternative approach we don't have a goal, but there's not exactly no goal. I mean, if you are doing something, you do have a goal, right? Any goal. It might not be an external goal. Like if even when I'm doing this course, there's a goal, right? The goal is to build a computer from first principles. So yeah, this is the goal to complete this project, to build a computer from first principles. So we do have a goal even in this approach. So we can't say it's not a goal oriented approach. We do have a goal. But now that goal, yeah, so it's not that this alternative approach doesn't have goals. It's just that those goals, at least ideally, those goals shouldn't be external, right? They should be internal. What do you mean by internal goals? So internal motivation, intrinsic motivation, not internal. Yeah, so intrinsic motivation occurs when we act without any obvious external rewards. We simply enjoy an activity or see it as an opportunity to explore, learn, and actualize our potential. Yeah, so that's what I mean by having a goal. Like we do have a goal, but those goals are all internal, right? The goal is to explore, to learn, to actualize our potential. I'm not really sure about this thing, potential, but explore and learn just for the heck of it. It ties really well with this concept as well. The concept of who we, the effortless action, state of perfect knowledge of the reality. I mean, this is a deep spiritual concept, but I mean, what is spirituality? It's just understanding of yourself, right? These things are part of yourself. So this is, I mean, this is part of spirituality itself. You can't draw border somewhere. I think Zhongzi wrote some good uh, verses regarding this concept. Way need to check it out. What are all the verses? Once Zhongzi dreamed he was a butterfly flitting and fluttering about, happy with himself and doing as he pleased. He didn't know he was Zhongzi. Okay, all of them, all the quotes are not related to what we are exploring right now, but drum and turbine singing, not this one. Butterfly frame. I think the Tao Te Ching had this. Let me find out. Tao Te Ching. The verse was something on the related to master. So what was it? I can't find it. Okay, let's just leave it for now. Let's try to think it up ourselves. Hmm. This is really the point. What you should do. This something. What this something should be. How should you think about it? How should you figure out what this something will be? Yeah, that's the issue, right? That's the question, really. How do you figure out the thing should be you should do? How do you figure out the things you should do? And core question, yeah, it's one of the core question. How do you figure out the things that you should do? Like what approach? How do you tackle this? Who's going to tell you what to do? Where should you look for? Should you look outside? Should you look inside? What do you mean when you say inside? Hmm. Should you keep in mind the money aspect of it? Should you keep in mind the money aspect of it? I mean, yeah, you don't want to end up doing something which doesn't you know get you paid. But yes, also there's another point. Like nowadays, you can convert anything, any passion of yours into profession. But should you do that, or should you keep that as a hobby? Hmm. What should I be doing? Can I keep the money aspect of it in mind and also have internal motivation? Is there a middle way between these two approaches? Mm, No, for the solution of this philosophy, or whatever you want to like, whatever you want to call it, woo it says that, did it go? Woo It says that you shouldn't really have a direction in life. By direction, they mean a goal, and we just live it. You don't think about the direction, and you just keep on doing what comes as a second nature to you. And that's what they say, right? I mean, the basic point is like you shouldn't use your mind to think about what to do, because your mind is conditioned. Therefore it's hard to not think about it in terms of external goals. Hmm. It may be that I'm interpreting this concept in a wrong manner. That might be the case here. I mean, when they talk about this stuff way, they are talking it in a deeper sense, like this oneness and all of that. But it applies to this stuff as well, like living a life, because all of this stuff is connected anyway. You know what? It's 2 a.m. I think I'm gonna sleep now. Maybe we'll continue thinking about it in a later session. The next stream will be a coding stream, it won't be a thinking stream, but maybe we'll see. So I will continue. We'll continue this thing in a later stream, maybe. Okay. So I think I'm gonna end the stream now. Yeah. It was fun thinking out loud. I should do this more often. Okay then. Bye bye guys. I will see you in the next stream. Let me save this note. We'll come back to it later. Good night, good morning, good afternoon, whatever it is for you. Bye bye.